we're going to have a look at rearranging the cosine rule so that we can use it to solve for unknown angles. Because right now we've got a side isolated and we want to be able to solve for an angle. Now you'll remember that we use capital letters to represent our angles. So we want to get this cosine A value isolated on one side of the equation. To start off, because we have a negative 2bc cosine A, to reduce the number of negatives that we have to work with, we're going to add 2bc cos A to both sides of our equation. Plus 2bc cosine A. So on the left-hand side, we have A squared plus 2bc cos A, and that's equal to B squared plus C squared. Because on the right-hand side, our 2bc cos A and our plus 2bc cos A, they cancel each other out. And so we're left with A squared plus 2bc cos A on this side. We just want the cos A term by itself. So let's remove the A squared term from this side by minusing A squared from both sides. On the left-hand side, the positive A squared and the minus A squared will cancel each other. And we'll have 2bc cos A equal to B squared plus C squared minus A squared. We still need this cosine A term by itself. And you remember that when we don't have an operation written, that's really multiplication. So what this is 2bc times cosine A. So we can divide both sides by 2bc. Or another way of writing that is as a fraction. So on the left-hand side, our division, 2bc will cancel. And we'll have cosine A equals B squared plus C squared minus A squared. Now, because we're dividing the whole side of the equation by 2bc, the best way to write this is as a fraction over the top of 2bc. Now, you can see here that we've got the cosine A term on this side. We could rearrange one step further and have the inverse cosine of all of this. But like we've been keeping A squared equals and taking the square root at the end, we can keep this as cosine A equals and put our values into this formula. Now that you know where the rearranged version of this formula has come from, you can use it straight away. So you don't have to rearrange every time you want to calculate an angle by substituting your numbers in. You can write this version of the formula down instead of the original version that we started with, and that will save you a little bit of time in each of your calculations.